The research vessel Haeyang bobbed gently on the Pacific Ocean waves. It was a calm morning, the kind that made Dr. Hana Kim grateful for her career choice. At 32, she was the youngest lead researcher on the marine biology expedition. While her colleagues focused on ocean floor samples, Hana stood at the ship's railing, taking a rare moment to herself. The water churned suddenly. At first, Hana thought it might be a whale. Then the sea began to glow with an unnatural blue light. "Captain Lee," she called out. "Something's happening." The ship's crew rushed to the railings. The glowing intensified until the water seemed to boil with light. Then, rising from the depths like some ancient sea monster, a massive object broke the surface. It wasn't a submarine. The structure had no visible propellers or familiar human design elements. It was sleek, with a surface that looked like polished obsidian embedded with veins of pulsing light. "Get the communications equipment," Captain Lee ordered. His voice was steady, but Hana could hear the edge of fear. "And contact the mainland immediately." Before anyone could move, the alien craft opened. The top section split apart like flower petals blooming, revealing a platform where 3 tall figures stood. Hana's scientific mind kicked into high gear despite her fear. The visitors were clearly not human. They stood at least 7 feet tall, with sleek bodies covered in what appeared to be a natural armor of overlapping plates. Their faces featured 4 eyes positioned in a diamond pattern, no visible nose, and a small mouth. Their skin shimmered with a metallic blue-green color that reminded Hana of beetle shells. One of the aliens stepped forward and raised a device. A moment later, a voice spoke in clear but oddly accented Korean. "Humans of Earth, we are the Vasha. We come to learn about your world." Captain Lee looked around frantically, unsure who should respond. Hana stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overpowering her fear. "I am Dr. Hana Kim. We welcome you to Earth." Her voice only trembled slightly. The lead alien studied her carefully, all 4 eyes blinking in an unsettling pattern. "You will be our liaison," the alien said. "I am Commander Trell." Within hours, the Korean government and United Nations had been notified. The research vessel was ordered to remain in position while diplomats and military personnel rushed to the scene. But it would take at least a day for them to arrive. Until then, the crew of the Haeyang would represent humanity in first contact. The Vasha invited a small group aboard their vessel. Captain Lee selected Hana, Dr. Jun Park, and himself to go. As they stepped onto the alien craft, Hana felt the weight of the moment. Every human dream of meeting aliens was becoming reality through them. The inside of the Vasha ship was surprisingly warm and filled with a reddish light that made Hana's eyes water slightly. "Your atmosphere needs adjustment for your comfort," Commander Trell said, noticing her discomfort. He touched a panel on the wall, and the light shifted to a more natural blue-white. "Better?" "Yes, thank you," Hana replied, struck by the consideration. Commander Trell led them into a large room where several other Vasha waited. Some wore elaborate armor with symbols etched into the plates, while others wore simpler coverings. The commander introduced his second-in-command, a Vasha named Vex, who appeared younger based on the fewer markings on their natural armor. "We have studied your transmissions," Commander Trell explained as they sat around a table that seemed to grow from the floor itself. "Your languages, your cultures, we find humans interesting." "We're honored," Captain Lee said carefully. "May I ask why you chose our vessel to make first contact?" Commander Trell's upper eyes narrowed slightly. "Convenience. Your ship was small, isolated, less threatening." Something about the way he said threatening made Hana uneasy. The conversation continued with an exchange of basic information. The Vasha claimed to come from a star system nearly 50 light-years away. They had been traveling for 30 Earth, years in a state of suspended animation. They were explorers, they said, seeking new civilizations. June seemed completely at ease, eagerly sharing information about human biology and culture. Hana, however, kept noticing troubling details. Whenever Captain Lee spoke, Commander Trell would shift his body to tower over him. When June mentioned Earth's diversity of nations and governments, The Vasha exchanged looks that seemed dismissive. 4 hours into the meeting, they were shown what appeared to be a trophy room. The walls were lined with unusual objects. Some looked biological, others technological, all clearly alien in origin. "These are symbols of our victories," Commander Trell explained proudly. "Each represents a civilization we have encountered." "Amazing," June said, reaching toward what looked like a crystalline sculpture. "May I?" "No!" Commander Trell barked. "Those who have not earned honor may not touch the symbols of honor." The room went silent. June quickly pulled his hand back, apologizing. "I'm sorry," he said. "I meant no disrespect." But something had changed. The atmosphere grew tense as Commander Trell stepped closer to June. "You humans have no concept of honor, do you?" he asked, his voice lower now, more dangerous. "You speak of peace and cooperation, but what warrior virtues do you possess?" "Captain," Lee tried to salvage the situation. "Our cultures are different, but we have our own codes of honor and—" "Show me," interrupted Commander Trell. He pulled a weapon from his belt, something that looked like a short staff. With a flick of his wrist, it extended to over 6 feet in length. "If you have warrior spirit, prove it." "That's not necessary," Hana said quickly. "We're scientists, not warriors." Commander Trell's 4 eyes focused on her. "So humans send their weakest to meet new species? This confirms what we suspected." The door behind them sealed shut with a hiss. More Vasha entered, all armed. "What's happening?" Captain Lee demanded. "The truth," said Commander Trell. "We are not merely explorers. We are the advanced scouts for the Vasha Dominion. We seek worlds worthy of conquest or alliance. Only the strong deserve respect." Hana's heart pounded. "And Earth? Your technology is primitive. Your bodies are soft. Your cultures are fractured." Commander Trell seemed almost sad. "You will be easily conquered. Even now, our fleet approaches. Our governments will resist," Captain Lee said firmly. "Humanity won't submit easily." Commander Trell made a sound that might have been laughter. "With what?" "We've analyzed your weapons. They are toys compared to ours." June stepped forward suddenly. "You can't just—" He never finished. Commander Trell moved with shocking speed, sweeping June's legs with the staff and pinning him to the floor. "Weak," the alien said. "You can't kill a human with honor. There would be no glory in such an easy victory." Hana felt cold fear in her stomach, but also a sudden clarity. If strength and honor were what the Vasha respected, humanity would always lose. They needed something else. She stepped forward, her voice steady despite her terror. "Then kill with love." Commander Trell paused, all 4 eyes blinking in confusion. "What did you say?" "If you can't kill us with honor," Hana repeated, "then kill with love. There are many kinds of strength. Before you condemn humanity, learn about all of them." The Vasha commander stared at her, clearly puzzled by the concept. Behind him, the younger Vasha, Vex, tilted his head with what seemed like curiosity. "You will have that chance," Commander Trell finally said. "As our prisoners." Outside the alien craft, night had fallen over the Pacific. No one on Earth yet knew that humanity's first contact with alien life had just become the beginning of an invasion. 3 days had passed since the crew of the Haiyang became prisoners. The research vessel itself was gone, likely sunk to hide evidence of first contact. Hana, Captain Lee, June, and the 14 other crew members were kept in a large holding cell aboard the Vasha mothership, which hovered high above Earth's atmosphere. Through the single window in their cell, they could see their blue planet below. It looked peaceful from this distance. No one down there knew what was coming. "They're not responding to any of my questions about their plans," Captain Lee said quietly. The crew had gathered in a circle, speaking in hushed tones. "But based on what we've overheard, the main fleet will arrive in about 2 weeks. Can't we try to escape?" asked one of the younger researchers. "Send a warning somehow?" Captain Lee shook his head. "Even if we could get out of this cell, we have no way to pilot their shuttles or send messages." Hana had been quiet, spending most of her time observing the Vasha guards. As a xenobiologist, She couldn't help analyzing their behavior, looking for patterns and insights. Their entire society seems built around strength and dominance, she finally said. Have you noticed how they always establish who's superior before any interaction? The way they position themselves, the display of weapons. June nodded. His face still showed bruises from his encounter with Commander Trell. They're like apex predators. Everything is about hierarchy. That's what I've been thinking, Hana agreed. On Earth, predator species rarely cooperate beyond their immediate family groups. But the Vasha have built an entire civilization. That means they've developed rules around their aggressive instincts. A code of honor, Captain Lee said, understanding her point. Exactly. And if we can understand that code, maybe we can find a way to communicate that doesn't end with Earth being conquered. Their conversation was interrupted as the cell door slid open. Commander Trell entered, accompanied by 2 guards and the younger Vasha named Vex. Unlike the others, Vex carried no visible weapons and wore simpler armor. You. Commander Trell pointed at Hana. Come with us. June stepped forward protectively. Where are you taking her? Commander Trell's upper set of eyes narrowed. The human female said something interesting during our first meeting. About killing. With love. I wish to understand this concept. Hana placed a gentle hand on June's arm. It's okay. I'll go. She followed the aliens out of the cell, down a curved corridor that seemed to pulse with faint light. They entered a large chamber that Hana hadn't seen before. The walls displayed moving images of what appeared to be Vasha history. Battles, ceremonies, and strange landscapes with crimson skies and twin suns. Sit, Commander Trell ordered, indicating a small platform. Hana sat down carefully. Across, from her, Commander Trell and Vex took larger seats. Your species confuses us, Commander Trell began. You are physically weak. Your teeth and nails are useless as weapons. You have no natural armor. Yet you have dominated your planet. We use our minds, Hana replied simply. We work together. Many species can cooperate for hunting or defense, Vex said. It was the first time Hana had heard the younger Vasha speak. His voice was slightly higher than Commander Trell's. But humans do more than that. You help those who cannot help themselves. You risk yourselves for strangers. This makes no evolutionary sense. Hana considered how to explain. On our world, strength isn't just physical. Our greatest advantage is our ability to connect with each other, to care. Care? Commander Trell repeated the word like it was foreign. Yes, we call it many things. Love, compassion, empathy. It's what lets us see others as valuable even when they're not related to us or useful to us. The commander made a dismissive gesture. Weakness. In Vasha society, the strong protect the strong. The weak are left to become stronger or perish. This is natural law. Yet here you are traveling between stars, Hana countered. That requires cooperation on a massive scale, people working together who may never meet. Doesn't that go against what you call natural law? Vex leaned forward slightly. She raises an interesting point, Commander. Commander Trell's posture stiffened. Our cooperation is based on honor and strength. Each Vasha knows their place in the hierarchy. Each serves according to their proven abilities. And those who can't prove themselves? Hana asked. They do not survive to adulthood, Commander Trell stated flatly. Hana felt a chill. Their society was even harsher than she had imagined. When you said kill with love, what did you mean? Vex asked, changing the subject. Hana chose her words carefully. I meant that there are different kinds of strength. Things can be transformed by love rather than force. Ideas can be changed. People can be changed. Interesting theory, Commander Trell said, but untested against the Vasha. We have conquered 17 worlds. None resisted successfully once we committed our forces. Were any of those species like humans? Hana asked. A brief silence followed. No, Commander Trell finally admitted. Most were herd species. Some were pack hunters with simple hierarchies. None had your level of technology or social complexity. Then maybe we should be allies instead of enemies, Hana suggested. We could learn from each other. Commander Trell stood abruptly. Enough. The decision has been made. The Vasha do not ally with lesser species. As they returned Hana to the cell, she noticed Vex watching her with what seemed like curiosity. A small hope formed in her mind. Later that day, the prisoners received their first real meal since being captured. The food was bland but nutritious, some kind of protein paste and vegetables that didn't look like anything from Earth. While they ate, June moved closer to Hana. What happened? What did they want? They're trying to understand us, she explained. I think the younger one, Vex, is genuinely curious. The commander is more rigid. Did you learn anything useful? Captain Lee asked. I think so. Their society is completely built around strength and honor. But the fact that they even wanted to talk means something I said got through to them. Before she could explain further, alarms blared throughout the ship. The cell door opened and armed guards rushed in. What's happening? Captain Lee demanded. The guard ignored him, instead grabbing June roughly. This one. Commander Trell wants this one. No. Hana moved forward, but another guard blocked her path. They dragged June away despite his struggles. When the door sealed, again Captain Lee punched the wall in frustration. We can't just let them take him. We don't have a choice right now, Hana said, though her heart raced with fear for her friend. But I think I might have a way to communicate with them. The younger Vasha, Vex, seemed interested in human concepts of connection and cooperation. An hour passed in tense silence before the door opened again. This time all the prisoners were ordered out and marched to a large circular chamber. In the center stood Commander Trell, and beside him knelt June. He looked unharmed but terrified. Around the edges of the room stood dozens of Vasha warriors, their armor gleaming under the bright lights. Humans, Commander Trell's voice echoed, in the large space. Your planetary defenses have fired upon our scout ships. This aggression cannot stand. They're defending themselves, Captain Lee shouted. What did you expect? Commander Trell ignored him. In Vasha tradition, when conflict begins, a demonstration is required. An example must be made. He drew his staff weapon and pointed it at June. No. Hana pushed forward, breaking through the line of guards. This proves nothing. Commander Trell paused. Your species is weak. You cannot fight us and win. Then why bother with this display? Hana challenged, her voice steady despite her fear. If we're so beneath you, why do you need to prove your strength this way? The commander seemed taken aback by her boldness. Because, he hesitated, because it is our way. You said it yourself, Hana reminded him. You can't kill a human. With honor. There's no glory in it. The chamber went silent. Every Vasha warrior watched the exchange. What alternative do you propose? Commander Trell finally asked. Hana took a deep breath and stepped closer. Let me teach you about humans, about what makes us strong in ways you might not understand. If you still think we're weak afterward, what have you lost? From the edge of the room, Vex moved forward. Commander, I support this request. The conquest fleet will not arrive for 2 weeks. This knowledge could be valuable. Commander Trell stood motionless for several long moments. Finally, he lowered his weapon. You have until the fleet arrives, he said to Hana. Show us this strength you claim humans possess. As guards led the prisoners back to their cell, Hana caught Vex watching her. The young Vasha gave a slight nod. Wasn't much, but it was a start. Hana had bought them time. Now she just had to find a way to use love as a weapon against an enemy that only understood force. A week had passed since Hana's challenge to Commander Trell. During that time, she had been granted limited access to the Vasha ship's communication systems. It wasn't enough to send warnings to Earth, but it allowed her to request specific data from the ship's archives about human culture. Vex had become her reluctant guardian, escorting her through the ship and monitoring her activities. The young Vasha seemed genuinely curious about humans, asking questions whenever they were alone. I do not understand why you keep requesting these images, Vex said as Hana compiled another data package. On the screen before them were scenes of human connection. A soldier returning home to his family, medical workers treating injured people, strangers helping during disasters. This is who we are, Hana explained. Not just our technology or our physical abilities. Our strength comes from how we treat each other. But these examples show humans helping the weak, Vex countered. In Vasha culture, this wastes resources. Is it waste if it makes the whole group stronger? Hana asked. When we help others without expecting anything in return, it creates bonds. Those bonds make us work together better. Vex's four eyes blinked in the pattern Hana had learned indicated. Confusion. Cooperation without hierarchy seems chaotic. It can be messy, Hana admitted. But it's also flexible. We adapt quickly because anyone can contribute ideas, not just those at the top. Their conversation was interrupted when Vex received a message through his communication device. His posture stiffened immediately. What is it? Hana asked. Earth's military forces have destroyed 3 more of our scout ships, Vex said. Commander Trell has ordered a demonstration strike on a small island human settlement. Hana's heart sank. No, please, those are innocent people. In war, there are no innocents, Vex stated, repeating what was clearly a Vasha teaching, but his voice lacked conviction. Then let me show you something, Hana said quickly. Before the attack happens. Vex hesitated, then nodded. Be quick. Hana navigated through the data she had collected. This is what happens when humans face disaster. She showed video feeds of rescue operations after earthquakes and floods, people digging through rubble with bare hands to save strangers, doctors working days without sleep to treat the injured, communities rebuilding together. When the Vasha fleet destroys a human settlement, this is what you'll see next, she continued. Not just fear or anger, but compassion. Humans from all over the world will send help. Vex watched the images with all 4 eyes wide open. This is not strategic behavior. Not by Vasha standards, Hana agreed, but it's very human. Before Vex could respond, a message came through his communicator again. His posture changed, becoming more formal. Commander Trell wishes to see you immediately, he told Hana. The attack on the human settlement will proceed in 1 hour. Hana followed Vex to the command center, where Commander Trell stood surrounded by senior Vasha officers. On the large viewing screen was an image of a small coastal town that Hana recognized as being in the Philippines. Your lesson in human strength has failed, Commander Trell said when he saw Hana. Your militaries fight bravely but without coordination. They cannot stop even our smallest ships. That's because you've never let them see what they're fighting for, Hana replied. She pointed to the screen showing the town. Those people down there have families, dreams, lives of meaning. Let me show that to the world. Commander Trell tilted his head. Explain. Let me broadcast to Earth, not to warn them about the attack, she added quickly when she saw his posture change. But to show them what's happening, to show them the Vasha. You wish to display our superiority? The commander seemed almost pleased by the idea. I want to show humanity what they're facing, Hana said carefully. And I want you to see how humans respond. Commander Trell considered this an interesting experiment. Very well, you may broadcast the attack and its aftermath. It will show other human settlements the futility of resistance. Hana fought to keep her expression neutral, not revealing the spark of hope she felt. Thank you, Commander. Under heavy guard, Hana was taken to the communications room. There, with Vex watching closely, she was allowed to establish a global broadcast signal. It was technology far beyond what humans currently possessed, capable of overriding all Earth communications simultaneously. People of Earth, Hana began, looking into the camera. My name is Dr. Hana Kim. I am speaking to you from an alien vessel. The beings call themselves the Vasha. She explained quickly who the Vasha were and why they had come to Earth. As she spoke, the camera switched to show Commander Trell and the other Vasha officers. They believe humans are weak because we care for each other, Hana continued. They see our compassion as a flaw. Commander Trell moved into the frame. Humans of Earth, your governments have attacked our scout ships. Now you will witness our response. The broadcast shifted to show the coastal town. Hana watched in horror as a beam of energy shot down from the Vasha ship, striking the edge of the settlement. A small fishing harbor erupted in flames. "This is just a demonstration," Commander Trell declared. "When our main fleet arrives, all resistance will be crushed." But Hana had requested that the broadcast continue after the attack. As the smoke cleared, cameras showed the human response. People rushing toward the destruction, not away. Fishermen using their boats to evacuate those nearest the explosion. Neighbors helping neighbors. And it wasn't just local. Within hours, help was arriving from nearby towns. Medical teams, emergency supplies, volunteers. Hana made sure the Vasha watched this too. "This is human strength," she told them. "We don't abandon each other. We become stronger together." Commander Trell seemed unimpressed. Emotional reactions. Wasteful. But Hana noticed something. Other Vasha in the command center were watching with great interest. Some were asking questions, their postures showing curiosity rather than dismissal. Later, in her cell, Vex visited Hana alone. "Your broadcast has caused discussions among our crew," Vex said quietly. "Some are questioning why humans would help those who cannot help them in return." "And what do you think?" Hana asked. Vex was silent for a long moment. "I am experiencing confusion. The Vasha teach that strength comes from domination, but humans show strength through connection. It is not what we expected." "Keep watching," Hana suggested gently. "Keep learning about us." Vex nodded slowly. "Commander Trell has received messages from the fleet. They are concerned about your broadcast. They did not want humans to know of our existence yet." "Is that bad for you?" Hana asked. "It means I have been assigned to create counter-broadcasts, to show humans the power and glory of the Vasha." Vex's voice lowered. "But to do this, I need to understand more about human culture. I will need your help." Hana tried not to show her excitement. This was exactly what she had hoped for, a chance to expose more Vasha to human ideas and values. "Of course I'll help," she said. As Vex left, Hana sat back on her small bed. Outside the viewport window, Earth continued its slow rotation, beautiful and vulnerable. The main Vasha fleet would arrive in just 7 days. Earth's militaries were fighting bravely but hopelessly against technology, centuries beyond their own. Hana's only weapon was understanding, the hope that exposure to human connection and love might change the Vasha from within. It seemed impossible, yet she had already seen small cracks in their certainty. Maybe, just maybe, love could be a weapon after all. In the command center, Commander Trell reviewed the human responses to the attack with growing unease. These creatures did not behave as expected. They did not cower or flee, instead they unified. It was concerning. "Continue monitoring all human communications," he ordered, "and limit the crew's exposure to the female human. Her ideas are disruptive." But as he issued the order, he noticed several of his officers exchanging glances. The seeds of doubt had already been planted. 3 days before the main Vasha fleet was due to arrive, Commander Trell called an emergency meeting of all senior officers. Reports from Earth showed increasing unity among human nations. Traditional enemies were now sharing military resources. Scientists worldwide were working together to understand Vasha technology from the debris of downed scout ships. "The humans adapt too quickly," one officer complained. "They learn from each defeat." "It is because of her," Commander Trell said, pointing to an image of Hana on the screen. "Her broadcasts have given them hope. They rally around her words." In the 5 days since the attack on the coastal town, Hana had been allowed to make 3 more broadcasts to Earth. Each time she had shown the Vasha more examples of human cooperation and compassion, and each time she had made sure the Vasha crew watched the human responses. "This ends today," Commander Trell declared. "The human female will be executed immediately. Her influence has become dangerous." As guards were sent to retrieve Hana from her cell, Vex stood quietly at the back of the room. When the meeting ended, he slipped away, moving quickly through the ship's corridors. Hana was sitting with June and Captain Lee when the door to their cell slid open. Instead of the expected guards, Vex entered alone. "You must come with me now," the young Vasha said urgently to Hana. "Commander Trell has ordered your execution." "What?" Captain Lee stepped forward. "Why?" "Your broadcasts have been too effective," Vex explained. "Humans are unifying in ways our strategic models did not predict. And worse, many Vasha are questioning." "Questioning what?" Hana asked. "Everything." Vex's voice was low. "Our purpose here, our code, the way we see strength and weakness." Hana looked at her fellow prisoners. "I can't leave them." "There is no time to free everyone," Vex insisted. "The guards will be here any moment. You are the one they want to kill. You are the one changing minds." June took Hana's hand. "Go. You're making a difference. We'll be okay." After a moment of hesitation, Hana nodded. "Lead the way, Vex." As they hurried through the ship's corridors, Vex explained his plan. "There is a communication room in the lower section. It is rarely used. From there you can make one final broadcast while I disable the tracking systems." "Why are you helping me?" Hana asked as they ducked into a maintenance tunnel to avoid a patrol. Vex was silent for several steps before answering. "I have been watching humans through your broadcasts. I have seen parents risk death to save children who are not their own. I have seen enemies help each other after disasters. I have seen strength that our code does not recognize." They reached the small communication room. Vex quickly activated the systems. "You have perhaps 10 minutes before they track this signal," he said. "Make it count." Hana placed her hand briefly on Vex's armored shoulder. "Thank you." As Vex left to stand guard outside, Hana began what might be her final broadcast. "People of Earth," she began. "This may be my last chance to speak to you. The main Vasha fleet will arrive in 3 days." She explained quickly about the split happening among the Vasha, how some were beginning to question their mission. The Vasha believe they are strong because they dominate. They see our compassion as weakness. But they've never faced a species like us before. They don't understand that love can be stronger than fear, that cooperation can be more powerful than control. Across Earth, millions watched her broadcast. In the Vasha ship, many crew members secretly tuned in as well. "The Vasha have a saying," Hana continued. "You can't kill a human with honor." They meant it as an insult, that we are too weak to be worthy opponents. But I see it differently. Perhaps we can't be killed with honor because our strength doesn't come from domination. It comes from connection. She leaned closer to the camera. Show them humanity at its best. Not just fighting bravely, but caring deeply. Help each other. Stand together. Love fiercely. That is how we win." Alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. Vex burst into the room. "They've found us. We must move now." They ran through the corridors, but at each turn, they found more guards. Finally, they were cornered in a small storage area. "There is no escape," Vex said grimly, drawing a small weapon. "I will hold them off as long as I can." Hana put her hand on his arm. No more fighting. There's another way." As the door slid open and armed guards rushed in, Hana stepped forward with her hands raised. "I surrender. Take me to Commander Trell." The guards looked at Vex, who slowly lowered his weapon. They seized both Hana and Vex, binding their arms, and marched them to the command center. Commander Trell was waiting, his posture rigid with anger. "The punishment for treason is death," he said to Vex. "You have dishonored yourself and all Vasha." "No," Vex replied calmly. "I have found a new kind of honor, one based on protection rather than domination." "Weakness," Commander Trell spat. "The human has infected you with her sickness of compassion." "Is it sickness to question?" Vex asked. "Is it weakness to see strength in new forms?" "The humans don't fear us, Commander. They unify against threats. They become stronger when challenged." "They will still die," Commander Trell declared. "The fleet brings weapons that can turn their cities to ash." Hana stepped forward. "And what will that victory cost you?" The command center went silent. The Vasha have conquered 17 worlds, Hana continued. All simpler than Earth, all with species that fought alone or surrendered quickly. But humans are different. We learn, we adapt, we unite. She speaks truth, Commander, one of the senior officers said. Our latest reports show human nations formerly at war, now fighting alongside each other. Their rate of technological advancement has increased tenfold since our arrival. And it's not just happening on Earth, Vex added. It's happening here too. Many Vasha are questioning our code after seeing humans, questioning whether true strength comes from domination or cooperation. Commander Trell's 4 eyes narrowed. You have done this, he said to Hana. You have infected my crew with this emotion. Yes, Hana admitted. I have shown them love. Not romantic love, but the kind that connects all humans. The willingness to value others as much as ourselves. The recognition that we are stronger together than alone. It is a weapon, Commander Trell realized. More dangerous than any technology. The most powerful one we have, Hana agreed. You came to conquer us physically, but ideas can't be conquered that way. The commander was silent for a long moment. Then he turned to the officers around him. Who stands with the traditional Vasha code? Who believes our mission must continue as planned? To his visible shock, nearly half the officers remained silent, their postures subdued. I have served the Dominion for 40 years, one senior officer finally said, but I have never seen a species respond like the humans. Perhaps we should consider new approaches. Commander Trell's rage was visible in the way his armor plates shifted. Traitors! All of you! He drew his weapon and aimed it at Hana. I will end this infection now. But before he could fire, Vex moved with startling speed, placing himself between Hana and the commander. If you kill her, you prove her point, Vex said quietly. That force is your only answer, that you fear ideas too powerful to fight honorably. The command center was split with officers on both sides ready for violence. The Vasha civil conflict had begun. And at its center stood a human woman who had done the impossible, used love as a weapon more powerful than any technology. Commander? Trell lowered his weapon slightly. What have you done to us? He asked Hana, his voice almost sad. I showed you that there's more than one kind of strength, she replied gently. The choice of what to do with that knowledge is yours. 6 months had passed since the day the Vasha fleet arrived in Earth's orbit. The planet below was healing from the brief but intense conflict that had followed. Some cities still showed scars from Vasha weapons, but rebuilding was well underway. Into a grassy hillside overlooking Seoul, Hana sat watching children fly kites in the distance. The sight of such normal, peaceful activity still filled her with wonder after everything that had happened. They do not fear the sky anymore, said a voice beside her. Vex settled down on the grass, his movement still somewhat awkward in Earth's gravity. Like many Vasha who had chosen to remain on Earth, he had modified his armor to appear less threatening, covering the sharp edges with softer materials. Children adapt quickly, Hana replied with a smile. Faster than adults sometimes. They sat in comfortable silence for a while, watching the kites dance in the wind. So much had changed since that confrontation in the Vasha command center 6 months ago. The split among the Vasha had deepened when the main fleet arrived. Nearly a third of the advanced ship's crew, led by Vex, had embraced new ideas about strength and honor. They called themselves the Reformed Vasha and refused to participate in the conquest of Earth. Commander Trell and those loyal to the old ways had proceeded with their attack. For 2 terrible weeks, Vasha weapons had rained down on major cities. But something unexpected happened. The Reformed Vasha shared defensive technology with humans. Nations that had been enemies for centuries worked together, and everywhere, humans showed the strength that came from cooperation and care. The Human Vasha Cooperation Center opens tomorrow, Vex said, breaking the silence. Many more of my people wish to learn from yours. Hana nodded. And many humans want to learn Vasha technology and culture. It's a good exchange. What Vex didn't mention was that the cooperation centers were also processing former warriors who wanted to join the Reformed Vasha. Every day, more turned away from Commander Trell's diminishing forces. "There is news," Vex said, his tone becoming more serious. "Commander Trell's remaining ships have been detected near Mars. Intelligence suggests he plans one final attack." Hana's peaceful mood vanished. "How many ships?" "Just 4 now. Most of his warriors have abandoned him." "But he won't give up," Hana said. "It wasn't a question. No, his pride won't allow it." Vex's 4 eyes blinked in the pattern that Hana now recognized as sadness. He was once considered the greatest Vasha commander. Now he is called the greatest failure. He led the mission that broke our oldest traditions. Hana stood up, brushing grass from her clothes. "We should get back to the command center." As they walked toward the waiting vehicle, Hana asked, "Has there been any response to our message?" Vex shook his head. "Commander Trell refuses all communication. He sees it as weakness to negotiate." The drive back to Seoul took them through areas still showing damage from the conflict. Work crews made up of both humans and Vasha labored together to clear rubble and rebuild. It was still strange to see the two species working side by side, but becoming more common every day. At the Joint Command Center, Captain Lee was waiting for them. He had been promoted after the conflict and now led Earth's diplomatic relations with the Vasha. "They're moving," he said without greeting. "Trell's ships have changed course directly toward Earth. Estimated arrival in 6 hours. Military leaders from around the world were gathered in the command room, along with reformed Vasha representatives. The atmosphere was tense but controlled. "Our defenses are ready," said a general from the United Nations Combined Force. "Between human weapons and reformed Vasha technology, we can repel 4 ships. "But at what cost?" Hana asked. "More destruction, more death on both sides." "What alternative is there?" Captain Lee asked. "Trell won't surrender. We've tried communicating, dozens of times." Vex had been quiet, studying the tactical displays. Now he straightened to his full height. "I request permission to attempt direct contact." The room fell silent. "You mean?" Captain Lee started. "I will take a small ship to meet Commander Trell before he reaches Earth," Vex explained. "One final attempt to end this without more bloodshed." "He'll kill you," Hana said. "He sees you as the worst kind of traitor." "Perhaps," Vex acknowledged, "but it must be attempted." After brief discussion, the plan was approved. But when Vex prepared to leave, Hana surprised everyone. "I'm going with you," she said firmly. "Absolutely not," Captain Lee objected. "You're too valuable to risk." "I'm the one who started this," Hana replied. "I'm the one who showed the Vasha another way. If anyone can reach whatever humanity might exist in Commander Trell, it's me." Despite further objections, Hana could not be dissuaded. 2 hours later, she and Vex departed in a small reformed Vasha vessel. As they approached the 4 remaining conquest ships, Vex opened a communication channel. "Commander Trell," he said formally. "This is Vex, former 2nd rank under your command. I request permission to board and speak." For several long minutes, there was no response. Then a familiar voice came through the speakers. "Permission granted. Traitor, approach the command ship and prepare to face justice." Vex looked at Hana. "It is not too late to turn back." She shook her head. "We finish this together." When they docked with the command ship, they were immediately surrounded by armed warriors. They were brought to the same command center where, 6 months earlier, the first division among the Vasha had begun. Commander Trell looked older somehow. His armor was dulled in places, lacking the perfect polish it once had, but his posture was still proud as he faced them. "You dare return," he said to Vex. Then his 4 eyes fixed on Hana. "And you, the source of our shame." "Not shame," Hana said gently. "Change. Growth. Weakness," Trell spat. "You infected my warriors with your human sentimentality. 3/4 of the conquest fleet abandoned their duty. They found a new duty," Vex said. "A new honor." Commander Trell made a dismissive gesture. "There is no honor in helping weaker species. The Vasha way has stood for 10,000 years. And it will continue, Hana said. But ways can evolve, grow stronger. Strength comes from domination. Commander Trell's voice rose. Then why are you losing? Hana asked quietly. The command center went silent. Your fleet shrinks daily, she continued. More Vasha choose cooperation over conquest. If domination were truly stronger, wouldn't your way be winning? Commander Trell had no immediate answer. I have seen Vasha warriors helping human children, Hana said. I have seen them find joy in creating rather than destroying. They are not weaker for it. They are stronger in new ways. Ways you taught them, Commander Trell accused. No. Ways they chose to learn. Hana took a careful step forward. Commander, your people are not lost. They're not shamed. They're evolving, and you can evolve with them. Or die with your outdated code, Vex added bluntly. Those are your choices now. Commander Trell looked around at his remaining warriors. Hana could see doubt in some of their postures. You once said you can't kill a human with honor, Hana reminded him. I said, then kill with love. Not to destroy life, but to end old ideas that no longer serve. Let the old Vasha way die so something better can be born. For a long moment, Commander Trell stood frozen in indecision. Then slowly he removed his command insignia and placed it on the control panel. I cannot accept this new way, he said finally. But I will not waste more Vasha lives fighting against it. We will depart your solar system and return to the Dominion. Let them decide if humans have corrupted us or enlightened us. It wasn't complete victory, but it was enough. As Hana and Vex returned to Earth, they watched Commander Trell's 4 ships change course away from the planet. 1 year later, Hana stood on the steps of the new Human Vasha Cultural Center in Seoul. Beside her, Vex and Captain Lee prepared to cut the ribbon at the opening ceremony. Did you ever imagine this outcome when you first said those words to Commander Trell? Captain Lee asked her quietly. Hana looked out at the crowd gathered for the ceremony. Humans and Vasha stood together, some even with arms linked in the new greeting style that had developed between the species. No, she admitted. I just knew we needed something stronger than weapons. Something that could change minds, not just defeat bodies. Love as a weapon, Vex said, the concept still fascinating him even after all this time. The power to transform rather than destroy. As the ribbon was cut and the crowd cheered, Hana smiled. The Vasha had come to conquer with force. Humans had defended themselves with connection. And in the end, both species had become something new and stronger together. It turned out you really could kill with love, not people, but the barriers between them.